There is a woman in your life. She gives you gifts. You smile, you say thank you, but something shifts. Something inside you moves, not toward her. Away. That feeling is not ingratitude. That feeling is wisdom. And today, we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about what gifts mean. Not the wrapping, not the gesture, the meaning underneath. Because nothing a woman gives you is accidental. Nothing. Every gesture carries a message. And if you cannot read the message, you will misread the woman. If this kind of truth speaks to you, if you want to understand people at the level beneath words, subscribe to this channel right now. Calm, steady, no pressure. Just an invitation to keep thinking this clearly. Let us begin. Not with gifts. Let us begin with you. Who are you when someone gives you something? Do you feel grateful? Do you feel obligated? Do you feel confused? Most people never ask that question. They just accept. They smile. They move on. But the man who understands female psychology does not just accept. He observes. He reads. He understands what is being communicated beneath the surface of the giving. Because women do not give randomly. They give with intention, sometimes conscious, sometimes not, but always with meaning. And there are 5 types of gifts you should never accept. Not because you are ungrateful, but because accepting them changes the dynamic between you. It shifts something fundamental. It moves you from a position of strength to a position of debt. And once you are in debt, the relationship changes. You change. She changes how she sees you. And very rarely does anyone speak about this. The first gift you should never accept is the gift of guilt. It comes wrapped in concern. It sounds like care. I got this for you because I felt so bad about what happened. I wanted to make it up to you. Please take it. It sounds generous. It feels warm. But underneath that warmth is a transfer. She is transferring her guilt into an object. And when you accept that object, you accept the guilt. You absorb it. Now you are carrying something that was never yours to carry. The woman who gives from guilt is not giving from abundance. She is giving from debt. Her debt, her emotional weight. And she is asking you, without saying the words, to hold it for her. The strong man, the grounded man, does not take on another person's guilt. He allows them to process it. He creates space for resolution without absorbing the burden. He says, not harshly, not coldly, but clearly, I appreciate the intention, but I don't need this. Let's just talk. That response respects both people. It keeps the interaction honest. It refuses to let an object become a substitute for genuine resolution. Guilt gifts solve nothing. They only delay the truth. And you, if you want genuine connection, must insist on truth over comfort. The second gift you should never accept is the gift of control. This one is subtle. This one is dangerous, because it often looks like generosity. It looks like abundance. Here, let me pay for that. Let me get you this. I want to do this for you. And at first, it feels good. It feels like being cared for. But watch what comes next. Watch how the conversation shifts after the gift is given. Watch how her opinion carries more weight. Watch how your choices become subject to her approval. Watch how decisions that were yours slowly become shared, and then hers. This is not manipulation in the obvious sense. It is more quiet than that. It is the slow accumulation of leverage. And gifts can be leverage, expensive gifts especially. The woman who gives to control is not evil. She is often afraid of losing you, afraid of not being needed, afraid that without the giving, you will leave. And so she binds you, gently, carefully, with beautiful things, but bound is bound, regardless of how soft the rope is. The man who understands this does not punish her for it. He does not accuse her. He simply maintains his independence. He pays his own way. He keeps his own choices. He thanks her genuinely and redirects. I appreciate you, but I've got this. Not arrogance, sovereignty. There is a difference. Arrogance refuses out of pride. Sovereignty refuses out of clarity. Know the difference in yourself. Practice it. The third gift you should never accept is the gift of testing. You will feel this one. Not right away, But eventually, she gives you something you accept. She watches your reaction. She is not watching to see your joy. She is watching to see who you are, how you respond to receiving, whether you become soft, whether you become grateful in a way that diminishes you, whether you begin to defer to her after the gift is received. This is a test. And it is not a cruel test. It is actually a primal one. Women, at the deepest level of their nature, want to know if you can be bought. Not because they want to buy you, because they need to know you cannot be bought. They need to know your character is not for sale, that your respect, your direction, your certainty does not depend on what someone gives you. The man who fails this test gets the woman's disappointment, even if she never says it, even if she gives more gifts after. The disappointment is there, quiet, growing, until attraction fades, until she is with you but not present. The man who passes the test accepts the gift graciously, but remains unchanged by it. His posture does not shift. His voice does not soften into submission. His goals do not reorganize around her. He receives, and he remains himself. That is the test, and that is the pass. If you are learning something in this, if something here is landing in a place that needed to hear it, subscribe to this channel. Not for me. For yourself. Subscribe because you take your own development seriously. Subscribe because clarity is rare and you recognize it when you find it. The fourth gift you should never accept is the gift of replacement. This is the one that hides best, because it comes at a moment of pain. You lose something, a job, a dream, a relationship with someone else, and she appears with something in her hands, a gift, thoughtful, timed perfectly, and it feels like being caught, like being held, like someone saw your pain and responded to it. And that feeling is real. Do not dismiss it, but pay attention to what comes with it, because the gift of replacement is not trying to help you heal. It is trying to become what you are grieving. She is inserting herself into the wound. She is giving you a beautiful object in the place of a painful absence. And over time, you begin to associate her with relief from pain, not with joy, not with genuine connection, with relief. That is a fragile bond. Relief-based bonds collapse when the original pain heals. When you no longer need relief, you no longer need the source of it. The relationship quietly loses its foundation, and you are left confused, wondering why you feel distant from someone who was so thoughtful. The answer is, she gave you comfort when you needed healing, and comfort and healing are not the same thing. Comfort numbs, healing transforms. Accept the comfort of her presence, accept the warmth of being known, but do not accept the object that tries to replace what was lost. Face the loss. Let it reshape you. That is where your strength actually comes from. Not from what fills the gap, but from surviving the gap, from standing in it until you grow large enough to not need it filled. The fifth gift, the most important one, the one that costs the most if you accept it, the gift of her suffering. This is not a physical gift. This is an emotional offering. She shows you her pain, her past, her wounds, in great detail, with great frequency, and you feel called to receive it, because you are capable of depth, because you can hold weight, because something in you wants to matter to someone. But here is what no one warns you about. When you consistently receive someone's suffering, when you become the container for her pain, you stop being her partner. You become her therapist, her confessor, her emotional storage unit, and she, without meaning to, stops seeing you as a man she can desire. She starts seeing you as a man she depends on. Dependence and desire are not the same energy. Dependence says, I need you here. Desire says, I want you here. The first creates obligation, the second creates magnetism. When you absorb her suffering routinely, you trade magnetism for obligation. And a relationship built on obligation is a relationship counting down. This does not mean be cold. It does not mean be absent. It means maintain the boundary between witnessing and absorbing. You can see her pain without becoming responsible for it. You can acknowledge her darkness without living inside it. You can care deeply and still maintain the altitude that keeps you both oriented. A pilot does not help anyone by descending into the storm. He helps by staying above it and navigating through. Your emotional altitude is not distance from her. It is what makes you useful to her. Protect it. Now let us speak about what this all points to. Because this is not really about gifts. It was never about gifts. This is about identity. Yours. Specifically, who are you when someone tries to give you something? Do you receive from a place of wholeness or from a place of need? Do you accept because it is genuinely offered or because you do not want to disappoint? Do you allow the giving to change how you see yourself in relation to her, or do you remain rooted? These questions matter more than any specific gift ever could, because a man who knows who he is cannot be destabilized by receiving. He can hold a gift lightly, he can appreciate it fully, and he can put it down without losing any ground. That groundedness is what women actually seek, not in the romantic advice column sense, in the deep, primal, evolutionary sense. Women seek men who cannot be moved by what is offered to them, not because they want someone cold, because they want someone stable, someone who is not for sale, someone whose direction does not change based on what is given. That stability is attractive, not because it is hard, because it is rare, because most men receive a beautiful thing and become soft toward the one who gave it. And softness, in this context, is not warmth. It is a loss of center. And when a man loses his center, the woman who gave the gift feels it before she understands it. She becomes less attracted, more anxious. She gives more gifts trying to get the feeling back. The cycle begins, and no one wins. The woman who reads this or hears this may feel a sting, a recognition. She may see herself in one of these patterns. And to her, this is what I want to say. The giving was not wrong. The impulse to care, to connect, to offer something of yourself that is not a flaw. That is a deep and beautiful part of you. But gifts given from fear do not accomplish what love requires. And the man who refuses your guilt gift, your control gift, your replacement, your suffering, is not rejecting you. He is refusing to let the relationship become something smaller than it could be. He is holding a standard that actually honors you. The man who stays in his center when you give to him is the man who will still be there when the gifts stop, when nothing is being offered, when it is just two people standing in ordinary life. That man is the one worth building with, and you deserve that man. So stop giving to keep him. Start being to deserve him. That is the shift. That is the real psychology, not his, yours. We are near the end, and I want you to carry one thing out of this. One truth, simple, unchanged by circumstance. Who you are is not for sale, not for a beautiful gift, not for a kind gesture, not for the most thoughtful offering anyone has ever placed in front of you. Your identity does not have a price. Your direction cannot be purchased. Your respect is earned by character, not by generosity. And when you live from that truth, everything changes. Not just how you receive gifts, how you move through rooms, how you hold conversations, how you sit with yourself in the quiet hours. That solidity, that unshakable sense of self, is the most magnetic thing a human being can carry. It is what draws the right people in, and gently, firmly, naturally keeps the wrong ones at a respectful distance. You do not have to announce it. You do not have to protect it loudly. You just have to live it, every day, without exception. Even when a beautiful thing is placed gently in your hands, especially then. If this reached you, subscribe to this channel, right now. Not because you have to, because you are someone who takes their own clarity seriously. Because you understand that the mind is worth sharpening. That the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, is always worth hearing. Subscribe and stay. There is more to say, and you are ready to hear it.